Okay, people, welcome back to another episode. In case you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and that bell to get notified. We drop new episodes of FORNEVER News every Saturday, 12 p.m. EST, and throughout the week, we upload the stories from that episode into separate videos for your viewing pleasure, so I'd appreciate all support. Let's jump into the stories. One Piece fans, One Piece did it again. One Piece continues on to break records. It has just hit Guinness World Record yet again, this time for something even more monumental. Because now it has been confirmed that One Piece by Eiichiro Oda has 500 million copies in circulation worldwide, and also it has been cemented in the Guinness World Record as I believe it's the longest running comic by a single author to sell, the most. It's the most selling manga or comic by a single author, because obviously Batman, Superman, all of those other comics have been done by multiple authors throughout the years. There's not just one concurrent author, but One Piece, of course, it being what it is, and it's just done by Eiichiro Oda. Yeah, that's pretty much cementing it in the Guinness World Record. I'm curious to see, though, if it's going to continue on and hit that 600 million mark anytime soon. I'll be honest with you, considering even though One Piece is like, dominating online, I'm starting to notice a difference between dominating popularity-wise online and it translating to sales. There's a story that we're going to talk about later on in this episode where it showcases that just because your thing is the talk of the town, just because the algorithms are favoring, like, pushing, yo dog, that One Piece, it doesn't necessarily mean that the sales are going to be, astronomical. In fact, we've seen, if you've been following FORNEVER News, and we talk about, like, top 50 best-selling manga and all that jazz, each One Piece volume is selling less and less as it continues. It's honestly on the quote-unquote decline in terms of sales. So it hit the 500 million mark, and of course it's going to stay, and it's going to pretty much stay for a long time as, like, Guinness World Record and all that stuff. But considering the fact that One Piece at this particular point is starting to hit the decline, also Oda has confirmed, it is officially announced that One Piece is on its final arc. We'll see how things go, but I just gotta clap it up for One Piece. This is huge, honestly. Like, One Piece has been doing great and doing awesome numbers for a long time, but honestly, One Piece is one of the big staples that puts manga in the run and in competition with comics. Like, there's no other series that, comes close to what One Piece has done. Even the legendary Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball is a popular anime. Like, the manga, don't get me wrong, is still one of the highest selling of all time. I think it's number 3, number 2, somewhere, it's in the top 5 highest selling manga, but Dragon Ball is really popular for its anime. One Piece is the exception, where the anime is massively popular, mainly in Japan, but the manga is just clearly a beast. 500 million copies sold and counting. I'm just wondering, will we ever be able to be number 1 in terms of the number 1 selling comic of all time? It's the number 1 selling comic by a single author, but I believe I want to say the Batman or Superman that is still number 1. Time will tell, but again, shout outs to Oda. 500 million. Talk about a run. There will probably never in existence be another run like One Piece. Over 1,000 chapters, still selling millions of copies and reaching and breaking record after record. Clap it up. Small update from Koyohara Gotoge, author of Demon Slayer. We haven't heard much from her, honestly. I believe it's a female, if I'm not mistaken, but we haven't heard much from the author of Demon Slayer in a long time. We get a little art here or there, and I believe Demon Slayer, if I'm not mistaken, was cut short, or there was something of an issue at the end of its publication because the author had like an emergency back home, so we never really get much from them. And it's crazy because Demon Slayer, as it stands right now, is like the Dragon Ball Z of this next generation of shonen anime and manga. Like, it's just massively huge. Mugen Train broke records. It's just been absolutely insane. Well, according to this, it says, Koyohara Gotoge, manga author of Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer, is recommending Marriage Toxin in the series' volume 1. So pretty much they're recommending this new manga. I've never freaking heard of in my life, which is probably going to put it on the map, because if Koyohara Gotoge does anything, if she freaking sneezes or farts and people find out about it, it's a big deal. But yeah, I might have to check it out. And I'm wondering, because I remember the author of Demon Slayer had spoke about, or I believe it was said, that they wanted to work on something like a slice of life or a romance series after Demon Slayer. I doubt they're going to allow that to happen. I'm going to just keep it real. I don't see them saying, hey, know, that Demon Slayer money is incredible, but go work on something else. Like, at most, they will probably entertain Koyohara Go Toge and be like, yeah, if you want to give it a shot, go ahead. But just keeping it real, it feels like at this stage, especially with shonen anime and manga, in particular Jump, coming back after your hit, like I just spoke about with The Promised Neverland, it doesn't make much sense to come to Jump anymore. If anything, go to like Jump Plus or some other type of publication, but especially the Demon Slayer author, when they return, needs to come back, just keeping it real, to Demon Slayer, because it's just so much money, it prints so much money, and that's going to be your staple of what you are. Like, even though it sucks to be put in a box, but we're not in the same era as, like, you know, Dr. Slump to Dragon Ball. Like Akira Toriyama, he had a huge hit with Dr. Slump and then came back with Dragon Ball. With Shonen Jump, it doesn't seem to be the case that it's very inviting for veteran authors to return and make a splash. It's like, once you have your hit, you probably should just move on to something else. Well, unlike Weekly Shonen Magazine that has just allowed Hiro Mashima to thrive from Rave Master to Fairy Tail to Eden Zero, I don't know, but hey, I kind of trailed off immensely. And just saying that Demon Slayer author has recommended Marriage Toxin. I need to check it out. I have no idea other than this image, which the art looks aight, and there's a ring because, hey, it's about marriage. But yeah, although a toxic marriage, that might actually be good. I don't know. Either way, shoutouts to Koyohara Go Toge. Might want to look into that if you like Demon Slayer. Studio Mappa. Now, you may have heard of Studio Mappa. They've done the Jujutsu Kaisen anime, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. They've taken over Attack on Titan for the final season. They've taken over Vinland Saga. They're currently in production doing the Chainsaw Man anime. And Studio Mappa is just highly acclaimed and highly regarded. Everybody freaking always says, hey, they want their anime to either be done by Ufotable or Studio Mappa. Well, Studio Mappa, apparently the animators are not allowed to leave the room yet, because you already know how it goes with the animators. But yeah, according to this, it says that Studio Mappa's first ever isekai anime, Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill, is coming, and this is, I believe, a leak at this particular point. So Studio Mappa got a new one coming, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of, I don't want to say skeptical, but I'm definitely, first of all, worried about those animators, because if they're doing now an original anime, I'd imagine that takes a little bit more than just having the source material. Like, if you have the source material of a manga at hand, which this might actually be based on the source material, don't quote me on that, but it's their first isekai anime ever, and honestly, it's just kind of shocking to hear, oh, Studio Mappa got another one, huh? Like, they built that massive compound. We talked about it a few months ago, that they built this massive compound where pretty much animators could damn near live there. And they did it for a reason, because they're going to keep on doing things, despite the fact that, again, they even have, like, what, Hell's Paradise, I believe, is in production with them as well. They got a slew of anime, and we hear that the animators are constantly falling apart and all of that stuff. And then on top of that, hey, we've got another one. This time it's an isekai anime, which I'm kind of isekai'd out. Like, there's a few isekai that I will always watch. Whenever ReZero comes back with another season, I will watch every single episode, every single week. But in terms of a new isekai, and then the title doesn't sound all that inviting, Campfire Cooking in Another World with My Absurd Skill. I mean, I'd imagine it could be good. I'd imagine it could be enjoyable, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about another isekai. Like, I mean, I've Sword Art Online did, I've ReZero'd it, I've watched quite a few, but yeah, Studio Mappa, they're not letting off of their animators anytime soon, and they got a new work coming.